I knew the night had rotted the second. My daughter's fingers tightened around mine. The hall shimmered with rented chandeliers and forced laughter, but beneath it all was the same old stench. My family's pride disguised as affection. I should have expected the blow. I should have anticipated the performance, but nothing prepared me for the moment my mother's hand sliced through the air, blocking my daughter like she was some stray. "Wait your turn," she snapped, then smiled sweetly at the neighbor's kids as she handed each of them a glossy ribboned gift bag. Daughter stepped back, confused, her voice barely a whisper. "Mama, can I have one?" My sister shoved an empty, crumpled bag into her hands. "Pick up the trash," she sneered. I watched my daughter bend, gathering discarded wrappers as every child in that room tore into toys and chocolates. Their laughter was a blade. My daughter's silence was the wound. I walked up to my mother, leaned in so close she could feel the tremor in my breath. "She's your blood." My mother didn't blink. "If you don't like it, don't come next year, and before you leave, clean the whole area." I didn't argue. Monsters never admit they're monsters. They expect you to kneel because you always have. So I didn't kneel. I took my daughter's hand and walked out. But the thing about walking away is sometimes it's not retreat. Sometimes it's repositioning. People think betrayal is loud, explosive, dramatic. Mine started in whispers long before that night. Small. Humiliations disguised as jokes. "You're too sensitive. She needs discipline. You should be grateful we help." That word was their weapon. They raised me on obedience, fed me with guilt, shaped me with rules, and cracked me whenever I dared to grow my own spine. And for years I let them. I believed the lie. That blood meant love. But watching my daughter collecting trash like a servant, that was the final cut. I didn't cry. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't even shake. Something else happened instead. A quiet click, like a lock turning. Revenge doesn't start with rage. It starts with clarity. I went home, tucked my daughter into bed, kissed her forehead, and sat at the edge of the dark. I didn't want to hurt them. Not physically. That would be too easy. For people like my family, they thrive on playing victim. I wanted truth, exposure, a mirror, so the world could see them the way I'd always seen them. I began with their favorite addiction, their reputation. For decades, my parents had built themselves as pillars of the community, charity leaders, neighborhood saints, moral guides. Every picnicking neighbor believed they were flawless. But flawless people don't treat a child like garbage. So I let the rot speak for itself. I gathered the security footage from the banquet hall. Yes, there were cameras, my sister's shove, my mother pushing my daughter aside, the neighbor's kids laughing while my daughter bent down to clean. I clipped it, sharpened it, added no commentary. Monsters reveal themselves without help. Then I dug up receipts, the charity funds that never reached, recipients, the tenant complaints, the unpaid workers, the threats buried under fake generosity. I packaged everything neatly, and at dawn, while my parents slept in self-satisfied ignorance, I executed the final move. The next morning, my parents opened their front door and screamed. Their entire lawn was covered, layered with printed screenshots and large still frames from the footage, copies of financial statements, testimonies from people they'd wronged, and QR codes linking to the full video. Every neighbor leaving for work stopped, watched, whispered. Every passerby slowed to read. Their curated world cracked in seconds. My mother stepped outside in her night gown, shaking, clawing at the papers, like they were attacking her. My father stumbled behind her, face colorless, croaking about lies. But nothing I put out there was a lie. I didn't need to bend the truth. I just dragged it into the sun. Inside the doorway, my sister stared in horror. She spotted one image, my daughter kneeling on the floor, holding trash, and her face changed. Not with guilt, with fear. They knew what they had lost. Control, influence, social worship. All because they forgot the one rule they had drilled into me my entire life. Family is everything. Yet, they treated mine like nothing. I didn't approach them, didn't explain, didn't justify. I just stood across the street, with my daughter, her small hand tucked into mine, her eyes wide but calm. She didn't understand the war playing out, only that I was beside her. My mother finally saw us, her mouth twisted. Maybe she wanted an apology. Maybe she wanted a surrender. She got neither. I turned away first for the first time in my life. Walking home, my daughter asked, "Mama, are they mad?"